Today we are going through the 5 mistakes that beginners make when it comes to body position. We've all made these mistakes, and one in particular is going to make a huge difference when it comes to climbing on slabs, so stay tuned to that. Hi, I'm Sarah from SendEdition.com. If you're new to climbing, click subscribe. I'm making videos like this just for you. Starting with number 1 is restricting foot placement to holds. And what I mean by this is there are a bunch of holds for your route, and you only place your foot on those footholds. When you do this, you actually make it harder for yourself to move your body in a position that will enable you to hold on to holds longer, reach further, everything that you need to make it to the end. So instead of restricting your foot placement to holds, consider flagging, which I've made a video for flagging, smearing, and using volumes. Volumes are those little arêtes from the wall that they aren't exactly part of the wall, but they aren't holds from another route. So be sure to use that at your own discretion. But definitely this is number 1, what I see for beginners when it comes to body position mistakes. Number 2 mistake is holding a very strict vertical position. A lot of times we want to keep our head directly above our shoulders, directly above our hips, directly above our feet. And though in some very basic climbs, this is fine. Once you get into a V2 level, you're going to be finding that vertical placement actually makes it easier for you to barn door or swing out. In comparison, what you can do is when you're using edges, lean back so that you're at a slightly less than vertical position. And I'm not talking about putting your body at a horizontal position. I'm just saying you don't have to have your head above your shoulders, above your hips, above your feet the entire time. In fact, it would be much better if you maneuvered your body position so that your head is closer to your handholds and your feet might be helping you leverage to get a little bit further or a little bit higher. And you can do that by changing the direction of your body. Mistake number 3 is holding your position with your arms. And when it comes to body position, it's all about maneuvering your center of gravity, and that way you can get to the next part of the climb. A lot of times, beginner climbers will use their arms, they'll pull their arms in, or they'll bend, they'll do full lock-offs. And this is a really hard position to maintain because you're using these small muscles. I know some of you have giant biceps, good job, okay. But you're using these smaller muscles in comparison to your core and your legs. When you use your core and legs to maneuver and maintain your body position, you're going to be able to hold that position a lot longer and get to the next hold using less energy. So definitely consider, don't use your arms to hold your body position. Maneuver your feet and your legs so that you can use your core and your legs to hold your position. Mistake number 4 is having your hips too far away from the wall consistently. And this is one you've probably heard before. Get your hips next to the wall. Well, there's a little bit more to it than that. And if you have long legs like mine, it can be really hard to do this, especially if you're not flexible. Doing a frog position where you put your hips in close to the wall and your knees spread out, it's a really, really difficult position for me. And so instead, to be able to get my hips closer, I actually have to turn my hips into the wall. That way I'm not using the frog position, I'm actually using more like a lunge position. So depending on your strengths and weaknesses, that is how you should use this advice. Get your hips close to the wall on overhangs, sometimes on 90-degree walls. That way you can use less energy when you're getting up, because the closer your hips are to the wall, the closer your body is to the wall, making it easier for you to reach further. So figure out what is best for you. Are you more of turning your hips and doing more of a lunge kind of position, or is your flexibility and strength really good with that frog position? This one's up to you. Figure it out. You'll love it as soon as you do. Okay, number 5 is putting your hips too close to the wall on slabs. So when it comes to overhangs and vertical walls up to 90 degrees, the hips as close to the wall, the reason for this is because you're trying to get your hips above your feet. Now, a lot of times when you're on a slab, if you put your hips against the wall, your hips will actually be closer to the wall than your feet will. And depending on the footholds, this can cause some issues. So if you're on more slopey type footholds, then this can make it so that you slip off, because the angle of your foot when your hip is up against the wall is going to be different than when it's directly above your feet. So instead, make sure that instead of putting your hips against the wall, make sure that you're just trying to put them as close to being above your feet as often as possible. Now, oftentimes when you're getting into this, on easier routes, you may find yourself going in and out, close and far, and this is just something that takes practice. It's going to be a lot less effort if you have your hips directly above your feet, not in front or behind. So once you figure out and get a good sense of your hips being in front of your feet, then this step is going to be way easier. So have you made any of these 5 mistakes? Let me know in the comments below. And just a teaser for you, I've made all of these mistakes because I was a beginner too. I understand what it's like. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this soon to come.